Lui finito, fottere.
You see, they make an indication to it in the movie Goodbye Uncle Tom, where they show they selling these slaves and they got a little black girl and black boy based on pedophiles that they sold to pedophiles. They had a whole industry of slavery. Did you see that movie Goodbye Uncle Tom?
Farewell Uncle Tom.
Farewell Uncle Tom. And Farewell Uncle Tom, where you have a whole industry, of slaves that is sold to slave masters as little children for sex. Whole cultures. They made the indication of this on Farewell Uncle Tom. They had whole, just like you go and buy puppies, or you can buy grown dogs. They had whole cultures where they sold children just for sex.
That's right.
Little boys and little white men, little girls.
They show you how they literally break down the black man and woman, man.
Yes.
And if you really look at that movie and study it, you can see that most of that stuff was real. I call it a movie documentary because they can't get little babies to play that role. Remember when they was taking the little babies from the mother and she was screaming, crying to get back?
Well, you know, the good part about it, the movie, was they admitted that these events were taken from, mostly the pamphlets of a guy named Thomas Hewitt and other historians. So the movie was historically adequate and accurate. Even to the point where this movie was seen all over the world except America. Now, it was made in Haiti in 1973. They even congratulated Papa Doc Dubai for having him to come down to Haiti and do this thing in 1973 or 72. It was made in Haiti. It was spaghetti, like the spaghetti westerns. It was a spaghetti slave movie of Italians who produced it. But the movie was seen all over the world except America. We just got this thing in the damn late 90s or early 80s, early 2000s, like the late 90s, where we found this movie that was done on slavery. So it's one of the greatest movies ever done on slavery. But the key here is this. Here it is, a movie that's seen all over the world. They got it in every language. And white people don't even let us know about it.
That's right.
This is a movie that they studied damn near 30 years, going on 30 years, and they never let nobody know. Farewell Uncle Tom. And it's a movie that is unbelievable on slavery. That makes Roots look like goddamn Mickey Mouse shit. And they give us that bullshit.
They better get it. And I got it. A clear copy too. And I got it on DVD. Because my man went over it, because you know it's an old one.
Yeah.
So he went over it with the computer to clear it up, lighten it up. Bad, man.
Yeah. See, ain't that something?
Yeah.
So here it is. We got the movie here. And people, I'm saying, these people look us in the face and they saw this movie.
That's right.
All over the world. And believe me, in my last 15 years of study, I have met white people that know some of everything that we don't think they know. And grin on our face every damn day. So fuck them. You want to tell me some shit, motherfucker, you need to damn be truthful. You say, I'm your friend and all this. Well, if you know some shit, you need to tell me what you know. Not necessarily that I'm looking for you to tell me, because I already know my history. Right. But I want you to see if you're going to validate yourself. But they never do.
They never do.
They never do. You see what I'm saying? They never do. So they're shirking their fucking responsibility. You see what I'm saying? So psychologically, here it goes again. We suffer the effects not only because the culture maintains our suffering, but also too, we suffer the effects of the hideous things that have happened to us. Whereas we've had even people go, Bobby, I don't even want to get into that stuff because I'm scared.
Or some people tell me, well, I can't look at that. That make me mad.
Make me
say,
mad.
Well, you're not supposed to be happy. You're supposed to get mad.
You gotta understand something about children. Parents don't like children to see certain things because it makes them upset.
But it's supposed to, man.
It's only when the children are forced with something, that it numbs that aspect of that and they can deal with it. It makes them better when they go through certain amount of aspects of things. Like take for instance, now we do know in psychology that most people in psychology, in some form of psychology, most patients shut down based on pressure. They can't deal with certain things that's facing them. And it is up to the psychologist or the psychiatrist to get them to face it, neutralize it, and go through it. But because they are mentally ill, they shut down with a certain syndrome that they could go into this hiding place, an alternative reality that children go into when they don't want to face certain things. So they make it go away. I'm going to make it go away because I can't deal with it. Well, it's the same thing now with black people when it comes to dealing with their own Holocaust. They're dealing with the same psychological things of mentally ill people.
Right.
Well, a mentally ill person they can't take pressure.
Because they're still a child. They haven't
Because they're
grown
still
up.
a child. They haven't grown up. They can't take pressure. So what they will do here is they will block it out. You see, to go on with their life, to cope. Well, it's the same thing with our people. With the psychological aspect based on because why are you blocking us out? Some people weren't even alive when these things was going on, or slavery, but they block it out anyway. They say, I don't want to hear it. So I've proven, I've just proven that this is some type of genetic memory bank. Here it is, that slavery went on 1865, over 130 something years ago. But yet, black people block out, so I can't deal with that. Well, wait a minute, hold on. You just proved my theory, or is it a theory of my science, when I said it's a genetic memory bank. You wasn't even back then. That means the two things have happened. The culture is produced for you not to recognize that or deal with it, or it means that you have a genetic memory bank where there's something that's traumatic happened to you in the past, and although you weren't living, it happened to your mother, it happened to your grandparents, your great-grandparents, and you can't deal with it now. So you have to block it out and go into your alternative world. In this case, the white man gives you a civilization, say, hey, that's what all Western culture is. Deal with the fantasy of Western civilization. You can move where you want to move and be what you don't want to be and hide what you want to be or hide from what you dislike. You see what I'm saying? And you can just basically sweep everything under the rug. So that's what happens psychologically. You have to get people to face that. And when black people rebel against their own tragedies, instead of dealing with it, you see what I'm saying? They are doing just that. They are shirking responsibility and not facing certain things to cope. And these supposed to be the people that's supposed to lead the future.
Hell no.
You see what I'm saying? But it's even sadder than that. They will identify with another race's tragedy.
That's right.
For some form of inspiration. They'll fly American flag in the American Revolutionary War, celebrate holidays and be adamant and be emotional about things it didn't even concern them. You see? And can celebrate a 2,000-year-old man's crucifixion, but can't even celebrate the crucifixion of their own people in their own lifetime.